Oh, hey, Chief, why don't you sit up here with us, right there? Sit. The time is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this Jerome Township Board of Trustees meeting to order, April 1st, 2025. Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Present.
Ms. Davis?
Present.
Mr. Kraft?
Present. If we could all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Does anyone have any additions or corrections to our agenda?
Yes. A few items. So under old business.
Yes.
Then we put columbarium project.
What is it?
Columbarium. The cemetery.
Yes. Oh, I got you.
Okay.
I thought that was in the periodic table or something. Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
Contractor agreement. And then under new business, fiscal recovery money.
Okay. Anything else, Barry or Wesleyan?
No.
Okay. With the additions that Robert suggested, I move that we accept the agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes. Okay, Robert.
You should have the draft minutes for the two special meetings of March 4th, regular meeting of March 4th and the regular meeting of March 18th.
I read those and I move that we waive the reading of the minutes and approve them.
Second.
Mr. Adler?
Roll
Yes.
call. Sorry.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
You have the warrants for your pending warrant report. They're warrants 45480 through 445,515 and 95039 through 95047.
Move that we approve the warrants.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
I have a couple more things. First is, I guess this could have been under one of the new business or old business.
Well, it's okay now.
So,
Go ahead, yeah.
I sent to you electronically on March 28th, Friday, we received an invoice from the Union County Engineer for the $250,000 that was committed for the Industrial Parkway US Route 42 intersection improvement project. I just wanted to make sure that you'd seen that and did include, there was a final resolution of the Board of Commissioners and the contract in there, I'm assuming with the contractor who's going to do the work. I just wanted to make sure the board was approved of that and would like, a motion to go ahead and make that payment.
I move that we go ahead and make the payment of $250,000 to Union County to help pay a share of the Route 42 Industrial Parkway intersection to move that project along.
Second.
And part of the resolution will be to amend the budget because even though we made the commitment, we didn't know what year it was actually going to.
And to amend the budget
Accordingly.
accordingly.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Next is.
Yeah, for that money, I just wanted to mention that we used money that we had collected through the JED income tax to help fund part of that for the intersection. We're glad to do that.
Yes.
Sorry, yes. Sorry, Ron.
Let me make sure I Next is, we were selected as part of an audit of the Ohio Police and Fire Fund. This was from the Auditor State's Office. They selected us. They did a random sampling of our employees, making sure we were contributing for those that we should be, not contributing for those that we shouldn't be, and contributing the correct amounts. This was actually for the year 2023 that they were auditing. So they have a representation here, but they want the chair. That was the chairman in 2023, which I believe is you. So they want you to sign this. The representation letter just says we made available to them all records that we had. We disclosed to them anything that should be disclosed. And we're not aware of any errors, omissions, fraud, etc.
Well, if you sign, I'll sign.
Oh, that's what I say all the time.
Borrow your pen, I didn't grab. Thanks, Robert.
And then the final thing is the last, I think it was the last meeting or the meeting that I was not at. Eric Snowden had presented to you a request to accept the commitments
Thanks, Robert.
of Jerome Village. What this is a spreadsheet, just to give you some context for what he was asking you to approve. It gives the commitments that they made to us, the date that they made the commitment, and then the columns are what the commitment was designated for. So we have fire safety, general, zoning, land in general, consultants. So what this shows is every single payment they made to us and the date that they made it. This was preempted by the fact that they had indicated that they had reached their total commitment for zoning, additional zoning fee charges of $500,000. I do show that they were $817.37 short. However, they did make that payment. They are classifying it as zoning. I classified it under land in general, just because that equaled $250. When you read the contract, it kind of says up to $250 on the land. So it's really semantics of which column you put the $817 in. So that's why the board resolution was to go ahead and indicate that they had met their zoning commitment. You can see that they still do have commitments for fire safety of just shy of $1,289,000, which will be used for the purchase of the ladder truck. They also have a remaining general commitment of $875,000 that's being paid off annually at $125,000 from 2026 through 2032.
Okay.
So when you give
It's a highlighted box there at the bottom.
I'm going to just give you some context of what he had asked you to approve.
Was the developer agreement on the zoning like an additional zoning fee?
Yes.
A supplemental zoning fee?
Yes.
For like kind of, I've heard that term.
Correct.
And it actually topped
Yes.
out. It wasn't for every place over there, just only into a certain
Correct.
amount.
I believe they looked at, the number of scheduled parcels that they had plotted out at that point in time, did some math and came up with a per certificate fee.
On the new agreement, the MOU, we didn't include the supplemental zoning fee on that, even though they could build, allowed for more zoning
Yes.
in the future. Okay. Just want to make sure I understood and restate some things I already knew. Does anyone have any questions or discussion about what's presented?
No.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward. Thank you, Robert, for sharing all the details.
Thank you, Robert,
Is it
for
really-
getting the numbers down. It makes more sense now. You done? Okay, thank you. Public participation, I don't have anyone signed
Wait a
up.
minute. I think, didn't you ask for a motion to approve this?
No, you did it at the meeting that I
Oh.
wasn't at, when Eric asked you to make it, and you did.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, good. I don't have anyone signed up for public comment. Public safety officer, there's a new sheriff in town, is that what you're gonna say? Isn't that how they say that?
Deputy Reinhold, Union County Sheriff's Office. The only thing I have is to introduce our magnificent sheriff, who has a lot more to say than I do. So I'll give it to him.
Aren't you gonna tell everybody to keep your stuff locked up like you usually do, and watch your speed in the
What
good weather?
an intro.
That's a cheap way out. Cheap.
He wants to make the paper.
I do not have an extra copy for you, Mr. Ray.
Thanks, sir.
Well, I can get it to you if you want. So, when we went through the new CAD system, I think Chief Stewart's probably talked about that in the past, you were getting reports in more of a linear fashion that was probably harder to read, it just sounded like the ordinary than the past. So the company came back in and we were able to develop a more detailed report that you guys will get on a regular basis.
Okay.
So I wanted to be down here to share it the first time around. So there's going to be more reporting columns as far as offenses, but you have January, February, and March. We're still fine tuning this. So if you look at page 3, you will see 3 extra columns and rows. I've included the average response time. So you have different shifts and how long from the time we are dispatched till we get on scene. Those are our average. What we did not do, we have not figured in the separate PSO response times. That will be coming, but just fine tuning stuff. I feel that you guys should at least know what the overall is for the township, and then we will break it down more specifically by your PSOs in that area. So something different than what you have been receiving, but this is what you should expect moving into the future. We've got a lot of good partnerships down here this year coming. We will be participating in the car show. Been talking to Brandon about that, and I believe we're going to probably bring our MRAP down, so not only will we have a deputy there with the fire trucks and stuff, but we hopefully have that down here for people to look at. Chief Stewart's been a great partner as far as the drug take back happens twice a year, once in April and once in October. We are moving a new location starting in April, and that'll be at Station 211. Chief Stewart's been on board with that to help use their salary for it. If you're not familiar with it, the residents can bring in any of their prescription drugs. They drop it off to us, and then we collect it and we dispose of it. So we have one in Richwood, one in Marysville, the Sheriff's Office in Marysville, Plain City, Pleasant Valley, and now we branch out to Station 211, and that was due to the chief there.
Do you know the time of that date?
Yeah, it's 10 to 2, and
What the day is that?
it's a Saturday. It'll be April the 26th, and that's from 10 to 2. And then in October, as long as Chief's good with it, and it's our intention is to come back, and that will be October the 25th, and it's the same time period.
Be good if we could get that up on Facebook, vote for the fire department in the township.
Do you have a flyer
No, no.
you can send me?
Yeah, so we do have flyer, and I know we put it out on our Facebook site through our sheriff's app. So I'll make sure that we share that too, because I'm hoping that maybe we can get down and post it at Kroger's and some of the other locations. So So that is the drug take back. National Night Out is our intention also, that we are down here in your guys' neck of the woods for National Night Out. National Night Out is in August. It's the August the 5th. We have not finalized the location yet, but again, that's another partnership with Chief Stewart, so you can bring out the Lulu trucks with the real first responders. So we try to have our specialty vehicles there, and we're going to try to have a grill for hot dogs that will be free, and some water for people. And somebody thought it'd be a good idea also to try to get a dunk tank out there that Chief Stewart, our SROs, and myself can share time during National Night Out. So we're hoping that we can get it someplace that we can get a lot of walking activity and just involve the community. But those things would not have been done without the partnership with Chief Stewart and Brandon. So I definitely appreciate their participation with us.
Again, National Night Out is August.
August the 5th.
Okay.
And that's like from 5 to 9 or 5 to 10, in that time frame. We just have not identified exactly where that will be at.
Did you say Brandon was also going to be in that time?
No, he did not say that.
I thought you just missed it.
I think he gets out of this one, I think.
People are always hating on the zoning people, and since Mr. Snowden's not here tonight, maybe we could see a Plain City zoning person and Jerome Township zoning person.
Or the
might wanna-
chairperson of
And then I know that we had talked, Randy and I, about they wanted to do some extra traffic down here and trying to work out how that funding would appear or take place. So the prosecutor's office has been working on a contract. I know I've been telling Brandon it's coming. But for your guys' next meeting here in a couple of weeks, I would anticipate that a sample contract will be for everybody down here at that point in time. Sam has promised me that it will be ready to go. So I'll have a contract for maybe additional funds that you guys want to spend for traffic enforcement of the complaint areas. Just for the fact that we're getting inundated so bad, we don't have the staff to hit each and every complaint that's coming in right now. With my Monday nights freeing up and the rest of the week, I'm going to be attending more of the township meetings throughout the county. And so when your PSO is off, our staffing minimum for the whole county is a minimum of 3. So we have 1 north, 1 central, and 1 south. So if your PSO is not working, there is a potential that there would be 3 only out for the entire county. With me attending township meetings and rotating it through, my hope is to take some of the heavy load off of Monday nights, redistribute and reallocate our work hours where we can now at least have 4 per shift throughout the county. So if your township officer is off, that at least leaves somebody down in this area, and our 4th can help serve as a backup. So that's one of the reallocation of staffing that I've done, is try to get to our minimum staffing of 4 just by shifting items around.
Relating to that, I have a question, because a resident made the statement to me, which I thought was misinformation, but saying that our PSO officers keep getting pulled for anything else in the county. How often does that happen? And
I can say that's not very often.
okay, I didn't think it was, but I just want to
No,
make
that-
sure that we clear that up.
Yeah, that does not happen very often. If it's high risk, I know there's been times where, like a pursuit, they've helped out on that before.
Right.
We've had, I remember one particular case that a guy was suicidal and hiding in trees after dark out off of 245. I think your PSO helped moved up to help on that a little bit. Are you aware of you being out of the township at all?
In the past month, I may have taken 1, maybe 2 calls outside.
Or what kind of calls?
It may have been at I'm trying to think if I can't think, I really can't think of any of that.
If it is a crash, it'll have to be an injury crash. They're not going to go property because that can sit, to be honest with you. And I think we have more people, more deputies coming in to help them, but your township deputy, everything is township. But I can follow up on that if you want more numbers on that.
That was my impression, but I didn't want to respond to it not knowing what the facts were either. I had that comment made.
I will work on that, and if they have that back to you. What kind of time frame do you want? You want the last 30 days, you want the last 90, you want the last 6 months, you want the last year?
Well, I mean, he kind of said it wasn't very
Maybe
often. I
just,
think I can
just this
accept
year
that.
from the first of the year, since it's been a change of sheriffs at that point. Feel for what your
I think
current,
the staffing level, if, Cyrus was telling me the other day, they were full staff, so that's been a huge difference, getting the people on board and whatnot, so I think you're gonna see a big difference now compared to what it could have been in the
Yeah.
past.
Could you talk on the staffing
Yeah.
also to the,
So that was on the list. So.
oh, Sonia, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll go in order. Don't go in order. Don't change it for me.
So we are getting closer on staffing. So we have one that started today. He was with us, went to Worthington, took a pay cut and came back. We just had a detective or a dispatcher a couple of weeks ago. She took a pay cut from Delaware to come back. We have one that we're anticipating deputy that will start on the 14th. And our last deputy will start on the 28th. We do have one retirement pending. That retirement will take place on April 30th, and that's Deputy Scott Anspall. He was down here for a while. I think you may know, but he is retiring April 30th. I'll hold his retirement commission. Other than that, he won't be back in uniform. And as far as that, all of our positions are filled. Or pending to be filled, and we have one on a waiting list. So once the 30th, we've already posted internally, we got to post like 10 days. As soon as that 10 days up, the one that's on the waiting list, we give a call, and we anticipate that will fill in right behind Scott Anspall. As far as the different PSO contracts, I know Taylor had extended up to June for us. It appears that they may consider it going another 6 months, but they're operating on, their levy has expired. They're operating on money that was saved when Paris Township joined with them, so they're using up the rest of those funds. Darby's anticipating on having another levy. They're still talking about that. I'll be presenting them a new contract this month because we will start, like it was by June 1st, do away with the fire and the EMT certifications for the PSO and Darby. Their contract allows them to just have first responders. The EMT and the fire certification does not add any value other than expense and cost with it. Our regular deputies do more EMS reports than what our PSOs did. And they've saved more lives actually with AEDs and Narcan than what our PSOs with the special certifications. So I think each Taylor and Darby have heard multiple times from it. We're interested in continuing providing the deputy, but it's just not going to have the extra certification. And I think with your guys' contract, that goes away in January 1 of 2026. So we can get back to doing what we need to do and what we're supposed to be doing. Especially with your guys' full-time fire departments down there. So what questions do you have of me?
school resource officers, if you could talk on that a little bit?
So you have Ben Smith that's down here right now. Sean Dyer took a promotion, so he is leaving North Union. We took a deputy off the road, Cole Brown, he lives up in Marion. He fits in very well at North Union, so he will be going there as a school resource officer. Jim Mitchell is going to Fairbanks, and he will help out with the parochial schools. And Rod Wilson, who was the PSO at Fairbanks, all we have 4, 1 for each school at this point in time. Cole's job will not take effect till June, end of June because of the shift bid and getting them certified. So until I can get another reason to have another, we won't be having additional ones there. We will be bringing back our golf outing, so we're in the process of that. That will be September 12th. That will be the Sheriff's Office golf outing, and that'll be at Darby Creek. Elks is our sponsor. So my goal is to have, through funding some of our special education relations and programs, we're hoping to buy a couple smaller drones so that our guys that's actually out on the road can get them up in the air quicker than they need to, instead of having to call someone in and wait 45 minutes to an hour before they get into work. So we're training more staff. I know that I have it worked out with all the police or all the fire chiefs. If they have a working fire in a county, our drone team right now is going to be dispatched so they can help with hotspots and run the drone with a thermal. And I've already talked to Chief Stewart, and we will be working later in the year to potentially get some of his staff members certified as pilots to train so they can also help out.
I heard on the news that Dublin just got 4 drones and that they're able to service Union County also, as they said on the news.
So that portion that they're in, yes. Now, because when I was talking to the chief down there, the autonomous, and they won't have to be present to put the drones up, and they're going to go from one of the Dublin schools as well as their 911 center and a couple other locations. But right now with the FAA, the way their regulations are, I don't know how we're going to get by without having someone there with the eyesight. Because by Part 107, you have to maintain eyesight. So I still don't know how we're getting by with that or what kind of ramifications they have there. But I know that they had talked about that.
Are you coordinating with them then to use their drones?
Yeah, so I've talked to the chief on that, and that has been offered if we needed in case of emergency.
So as far as the staffing levels, and you said by the end of the month you should be fully staffed?
So we'll be fully staffed.
Yeah.
Now, we still have 5 deputies that were forfeited in December of 2023. And I was not able to get any of those deputies back during this switch of administrations.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get, there was actually 6 given up, but I was able to get 1 back. He's going to be a training officer. It's the first time our office has ever had a full-time training officer. That full-time training officer, not only will they coordinate all of our training, but they will also coordinate with other training for the county as far as West Central, adult probation, juvenile probation. Our office is going to try to take on some additional training aspects to help reduce some of the risk liability for the county in those areas too. Because I know the judges were concerned about the lack of training or specialty training that's available to their staff. So we're going to help augment that a little bit with this training officer once we get it up and going completely.
What's the ongoing plan as far as keeping the officers that you have, as far as reducing turnover? I know that's been a big issue in the past, is that you lose,
I can tell you,
1 step forward and 3 back.
since March 19th of last year, we lost 1 because he lied and he was going to get fired, so he went to a different county.
Mm-hmm.
We had another one that brought that to light that was feeling pressure, so he went to Franklin County as a job. Short of that, we have not lost anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Those that we're talking about retiring early or leaving, they have stayed. Our turnover is nil to none at this point in time.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, so very humbled. And, when November 1st came around last year, we had people calling for deputy positions and for applications. So we had 5 right off the bat. We didn't even advertise for a position. So out of those 5, we were able to hire 4. One's on the waiting list that we currently have. We're having interviews. This month, I think, for dispatchers, we got five more people that we're interviewing for dispatchers because we have 2 open dispatch positions. So those are people reaching out. And we're finally going to have true supervisors within the dispatch center that will be able to make decisions. So part of that promotional process will be a panel interview. And has Nate reached out to you about that? So our dispatch as coordinator, Nate Cofield, will be reaching out to Chief Stewart, and I know I talked to him on the phone, but we're going to have a fire representative to sit on our hiring promotional board for our dispatch supervisors. And I feel as much as they dispatch for fire, they should also have to say, so he'll be joining us on our interview panel there too. So our turnover, other than this pending retirement, we haven't had.
All right, anyone have any questions?
No, this is
It's a
fantastic.
real opportunity to have a
I
sheriff
had
here
one
tonight. We need
follow-up
to
question from last
hit
time
him
I
with
asked.
the big questions.
Yeah, I asked about the traffic issue at Amazon down there on Warner Road. Is any follow-up been done on that?
I know that a couple of our PSOs, Deputy Snarry, was down there recently. The statement I heard was that there was a couple speed limit signs that were put up that did not belong there. It reduced the speed limit to what was not supposed to be. I'm not sure who put those up or where they came from. I did hear that they have been removed since that.
Interesting.
I am not sure on where they're at currently with the traffic. That was a little while back that they were down there. But I believe they've got a little bit of a routine figured out. Again,
So,
Yeah,
what was the complaint, Barry?
what
Could
I
you
was
repeat
aware
the
of is
complaint?
The traffic was backing up onto the road
Yes.
at the entryway because the security
The
guard.
the guard shack was slowing
guard check was slow letting
people
people in.
coming down.
yes, and someone had put some signs out to try and slow people down so it wouldn't get backed up. But those have been removed since they were not the proper speed limit signs that was supposed to be down there.
But have they cleared up the issue regarding backing up onto the road for people having to go around? Because I know that was a safety, backed up on the road and people have to pass to get by there.
Yeah,
Are you aware of anything going on?
I'm aware where that's at as far as that goes. I will send an email tonight to Matt Bebel, W. Bebel. He'll be working tomorrow morning from, I believe it may be Snarry. I'll send it to Deputy Snarry and tell him to check that out tomorrow morning. See where we're at.
Thank you.
Anything else?
You want to get a picture with the sheriff while he's here? I mean, he may not be back for a while. I'd like to get a picture.
I'll be back.
I'd like to
No,
like to
it's
get a
not-
It
picture.
sounds like I'm not going to be back.
What are you
For the
running for,
paper.
Jeff?
What are you running for, yo?
Like I'm not coming back. What's wrong with you?
Oh, are we doing this for real? Or is it just you?
yeah. No,
Come back here.
yeah, trustees, yeah. So, you want to get her flag out or?
What is this about?
Grandstanding.
Well, I can tell how much the past administration was down here.
All right, let's get
Where do
that.
you want this?
Get you right in the middle. Come here, Barry. Get up close.
Ready? Got one with my phone too.
Yeah, they call it iPhone 18.
Fancy. Thank you guys.
Thanks for being here.
I'll be
That
back.
was great information.
Joe doesn't think you'll be back.
Well, you know, he's going to make, I'm sure they're back.
That was a great update.
A
A lot of progress.
Yeah, so we made a lot of progress, and we're still working on it. Still a lot more to go, but we're making headway, little bit by little bit.
Before
Thank you,
Sheriff
Sheriff.
leaves, you heard that they lost 5 positions, how many years ago?
December 2023.
And then the staffing levels have been minimum of 3 in the entire county for 20-plus years on the state levels for law enforcement. And you guys are in a perfect position to support him with the county commissioners, get that staffing up to a safe level. I know Marysville typically staffs with 5 per shift, and for that smaller community, but these guys are covering, I mean, just in our township in Mill Creek, they're covering 55 square miles, but just as a fire chief and as a resident, love to see their staffing up to a safe level. And
Actually,
I don't know what that number is.
Sheriff,
but look at him and see.
what are your needs?
Right
Let's
now,
talk about that. What are your needs?
we,
Not on the spot or anything, but
no doubt.
Speak into the microphone here.
Let's talk about your needs.
You know, I think that when you look long-term, we have to look at staffing as in general. But, you know, I know there's talk of a 5th PSO down here, but I think we have to provide you legitimate stats that you guys can make heads or tails from. If I would ever consider going as far as another person down here incrementally and playing it out, I think a detective/community relations officer would be the most feasible one for your township. That makes more sense to me than someone on the road right now. If you're going to do increases, you know, I know that I'm working with, we applied for a couple of grants through One Ohio, which you missed. But one of the grants was for self-writer cell phone forensics. The other one is I'm hoping to try to fund a canine that will be assigned to our drug task force that can also serve not as a dual-purpose dog traditionally as they've had far as like a German Shepherd or Belgian Walla, far as searching for drugs. I want to like maybe more of like an English pointer or a German Short-Hair Pointer that can search for drugs, but it's also real friendly to take into schools, because we found that when you have different accidents or trauma with the kids, just having that dog, and I think that's more friendly than the dual-purpose German Shepherd and Belgian that has been in the past. So I know we applied for that a couple of grants. I know eventually we're going to have to get a detective that deals nothing but fraud and to deal with all the financial stuff and identity, and that's especially of its own. We got to look at traffic officers, because we're just getting inundated for its traffic. And we're at that point now that we have eliminated one of the sergeants on the road, so we have a midnight, second shift, and day shift sergeant. We used to have a 4th, but his schedule would be sometimes midnight, sometimes second shift and day, and it's just hard. So we got the 3 sergeants. We're in the process of having 3 corporals, so they don't have to have as many years as the sergeant to fulfill that spot. They will be assigned to the sergeant and work their days off. That will help develop that leadership down the road too. So our dispatch center, there's times we only have 2 dispatchers on in our 911 center. That's got to be increased. I like to see 4, because once you get an emergency, you have an injury crash, you got to answer doors, you got to answer phones, you got this deputy talking, or you have this Plain City unit, this Ridgewood unit. There's just not enough dispatching. So I would like to see that at least a minimum of 3, which means you have to staff 4, so if someone wants off, you can have that. So that's going to have to be increased. So it's all about staffing, but until I can see how everything lines up, I'm not going to say how much we need. You know, I know we need more. It would be ideal to have 5 deputies out a shift, minimum. That would be wonderful. You know, we got to do a better job as far as training. So part of the training becomes the educating, developing our teachers and our instructors. So there's more than one little step. There's so many little ones that interlock on each other. You know, from our preparedness, I don't think our last time that we did a true active shooter training scenario with all of first responders was probably in the early 2000s. up in Ridgewood. I can't think of, since that time when we actually had an active shooter training from start to finish, I think it under Sheriff Rocky Nelson, if I remember right back then. So there's a lot of things, and I think if we take it incrementally as far as getting the corporals in positions, we did the training officer, and we start making some of those conversions, some fine-tuning stuff, I'll have a better idea. But I think right now, even just making a simple switch around June to get minimum staffing at 4, that's a beginning step. So if that helps at all. But I think if I was going to look forecasting for you guys down here, the 5th PSO or 5th Township officer, I think better served would be a detective and a community relations officer.
I've heard your detective spends most of his time down here already.
He spends a lot of time down
IPA
here.
meetings.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out to the IPA
Right.
meeting and stuff, and that's the type that when you swing those two in together, a detective that can also teach the community or go out with them hand in hand, that's the type of relationship that that person needs to have. So
That makes sense.
we're slowly getting there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff.
Stay safe. Stay safe out there. Thanks for your service.
All right, moving on, we do not need an executive session tonight. Administrators report.
So thank you. Want to thank Kyle from the Marysville Fire. They did a really nice, Kyle did a really good job in getting our trout from ODNR story in the front page. We had ODNR showed up and dropped 1,000 rainbow trout out there, and we had a very good turnout. And
Do you know what size those trout were? Because my grandson caught one about 10 or 12 inches.
yeah, that's
from last
that-
year.
Yeah, most of them are that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
big?
they're not small.
Okay.
No, I don't think they're small at all,
And
from what we could tell.
ODNR said that there were not any catfish in.
Not
Pond?
that when they shocked it, but we knew better. I mean, we were told
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks that there were catfish out there, so it's just encouraging that people are still catching catfish out there, I guess, for
Should we
now.
put a prize out for a picture of someone who caught a catfish? So we can prove, maybe get that.
But it's been a steady flow of people through the park. It's been good to see, and as long as we don't get snow, I hope they continue.
I drove by when they started, there was at least a dozen people out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We probably had 30 maybe.
Yeah.
This year. It was a good turnout.
It was a good turnout, yeah.
Just another reminder, I'm going to jump around a little bit here, no particular order. Putting in a ton of work still on the car show. I know there's going to be more and more attention. If you want to register for that, it is on the Fallen 15 website. You can register there. There's a QR code. I believe Michelle in the office has also put that same link on our website as well. If not the website, it's on the Facebook page. And we're encouraging people. It's $20 to register ahead of time. I think it's going to be $25 or $30 if you pay at the gate. That's on Saturday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 4. We've confirmed the Ohio Highway Patrol is going to bring in a helicopter that day for us. The fire department's going to be there. You heard the sheriff say they're coming. It should be, weather permitting, it should be a large, relatively large event, and it's going to continue to grow in size. More to come on that. Building update for our road department building over here, classical construction. As you know, and I know Robert's going to touch on this, under old business coming up, so I won't spend a lot of time, but there's been some good back and forth with some good questions ahead of time, and we'll be filing for the water sewer permit and pay the fees here soon. We are working with MORPC, as you know, the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission on the Parks and Cemeteries survey, or I'm sorry, study, and they will be conducting a survey. Their work's going to be starting on Monday, April the 7th. More to come on that publicly, but we've gotten some good movement on that, and we really want to get the word out for our residents to be looking for that survey. We want them to participate as often as they can, and some really valuable information we hope that we're going to glean from that report once it's all done. And I think that ends my report. I'll turn it over to Chief Stewart, and then I'll go over the road division.
Okay. Chief Stewart?
Good evening. Your stats for March are there. Please continue to be busy. And tornado sirens should be installed. They left Indiana today. They're making their way here. The weather probably tomorrow is not going to allow them to install. So we're looking at Thursday, Friday, and possibly even Monday to have R2 installed and then the 2 in Mill Creek installed as well.
For the public, go ahead and go over the locations of those, just so they'll
Yep,
understand
absolutely.
where they're going.
So the 2 that we have, one is at Station 211, and the other one is at the Jerome Cemetery on Jerome Road. The one's for Mill Creek Township Building, and then the other one is at the intersection of Watkins Road and Jerome Road, right on the corner across from Shelley Material, but it's on First Energy property. So we worked out a partnership with First Energy to install that siren on their property as well. Once they get them installed, a ground crew comes in, gets the programming set up, and then gets everything linked to our 911 center. So we should be up and operational hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks with 4 new sirens, and go from there. Not soon enough, because tomorrow's weather looks like it's going to be worse than it was on Sunday. Hopefully not as bad as last year, but this is a great project, and I appreciate both boards moving forward and investing in our community and the safety of our community.
Can you review when the sirens go off? Because that Sunday event, I didn't hear it, and I usually hear them, and maybe it was because the wind was blowing too strong, or
So it'll only
is
go
it
off
only a warning?
when there is a warning, and the way the new system works is going to work once all the updates are done. It will only go for the affected area. So right now, all the sirens for Union County would go off, with the exception of Dublin. We don't control any of the sirens in Dublin, but our dispatchers control all the sirens in the county. But the way it's going to be designed is the affected area. So it might only be Jerome Township. It might be only Mill Creek, but it's going to be where the National Weather Service indicates that portion of the storm is coming through, where there is a tornado coming through or whatnot. So that's the nice thing about the new system and the new software that they have.
It's only for a warning, not for a watch.
I will have to clarify how they've got that set up and when that goes off, but I believe it is only for the warning. I can clarify and get back to you.
Thank you.
And then there'd still be a testing, like the first Wednesday of the month at noon?
It's every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's every Wednesday,
okay.
but I think in the winter, and then certain times they do not do the test because the weather's bad anyway. So it's typically every Wednesday at noon.
Okay.
We wanted to get clarification. When the last time we spoke about this 2-3 weeks back or whatever that was now, did the board approve us to move forward with 1 or 2 this year?
I think it's
Do
2.
you recall?
I believe it was 2.
Okay. I know we talked about, the reason it was brought up is that the chief reminded me that we were gonna need to work out easements probably if they fell on, some kind of private property on these next ones.
I think he's got a priority list of where the next 2 should go. And
I think it would be a budget issue of what we budgeted. Do you remember? We'll check, but
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay. And then we received a $15,060 grant from the Ohio Fire Marshal for turnout gear. So we're working on to get that'll
All right.
get us about 3 sets of turnout gear. We budget typically 80 a year to replace, and they have a 10-year life expectancy, so we typically budget for 10 or 8 cents a year. So this will help cover the cost of 3. And then we heard from the sheriff about the drug take-back day and the National Night Out, so those are really good events to be part of.
Now, the drug,
10 to
which station?
211.
211, okay.
And
10 to noon?
Yes. And then October 25th. We initially had in April, and we're working on scheduling everything in October. The National Night Out, again, not sure where the location's at, but August 5th for 5 to 10. And the last thing I want to talk about is the tanker. You have a proposal there as part of the pack I gave you, and sent out an email through Brandon probably 2-3 weeks ago regarding the tanker. If you recall, we worked out an agreement with Mill Creek to purchase, they provided $500,000 towards the purchase of a vacuum tanker. That was done in August of 2023. We signed an agreement with Mill Creek Township. Then in September 12th, 2023, we signed an agreement with Global Pool Fire Equipment to purchase a Water Master tanker. At that time, it was supposed to be delivered in the fall of 25, which we knew. We understood delays and whatnot. I received a price increase on January 18th of 24, and there was some price increase was originally about $7,900, but there were some graphics that we were going to get done locally that we could get them a lot less expensive than what the factory is providing. But the price increase was around $7,500. That was the first price increase. Then February this year, we were notified of an additional price increase of $8,700, which took the cost of the tanker up to $587,864. The original contract agreement was $575,209. Been working back and forth, trying to look at options and see where we were going to end up. They also notified us that the tanker would be delayed until September, October of 26 due to not being able to get the chassis. Obviously frustrating. We wanted a commitment. We signed a contract with Overpool. In the process of going back and forth and seeing if they would commit to a delivery date and no more price increases, they advised us that there would be an additional price increase on top of all of these for the tariffs that were going to go into place. They would not guarantee a delivery date. They weren't even sure that it would be possible to get it delivered in 26. It may be pushed out even further. So obviously that's a concern for me because I need water on the fire. We got together, our battalion chiefs, myself, and our officers, and our main objective is to get water on the scene for our firefighters to use. The vacuum tanker it is a very good system. It works, but if we can't have the truck, then it's not going to work for us. So we looked at different options. We looked at all different vendors. We talked to Sutphen, we talked to Pierce, we talked to Rosenbauer. Then we talked to a company called FOTS. They're out of Georgia. They sell tankers. They actually have 2 available. And I think part of this is at the same time, Pleasant Valley is looking at purchasing a tanker. And they were going to duplicate what we were because we kind of wanted to have everything similar for operational purposes. They were told by Vogel Pool that ours was going to be the last tanker built by Watermaster. That they were going to change their structure and focus on building engines and rescues. And that, I don't even know if ours would get built. That's the big what if. So we talked to the officers. We feel that the priority is getting a tanker, 3,000 gallons of water, and getting it in service for both of our departments. So we landed on FOTS because they're the only ones that have trucks available now. The pricing is phenomenal. They have a lot of different departments, not only in Ohio, but throughout the country that have these trucks. Dayton Fire is buying from them. Carrollton just took delivery of a tanker almost identical to what we're looking at. Jerusalem Fire up by Oregon, they have a 4,000 gallon tanker, bigger, but they are strictly rural. But we feel that we can overcome the challenges that the vacuum tanker was going to help us with. if we go this route, and this is the only really company that has one. Rosenbauer has some, but the pump capacity does not meet what we need. So Fox, they have two 3,000 gallon tankers. They're sister trucks. The cost of the truck would be under $500,000, and that would include some of the loose equipment that we had a separate budget for this year to outfit that truck. Trying to get all the final pricing on that, and Chief Adams is going to present to his board on Thursday. I talked to the Mill Creek trustees. They have no issue. Their priorities are the same as ours, getting the operations taken care of, and really providing this extra service to the community that we don't have. If that would happen, we will get a slight discount of both of this purchase. It's not going to be a windfall of money, but it's going to be a slight discount. But again, that will, right now we have a PO for $579,000, I believe. So that's a $80,000 savings plus the equipment that we budgeted, and I believe we budgeted $25,000 to $30,000 for loose equipment. So if we can get this truck with all the equipment, it can actually be delivered in May, ours and Pleasant Valley's. I just would like permission to move forward with that. I'm going to present it to Mill Creek on Monday, and then we would just have to make an amendment to the service contract, and they are right now willing. They want to hear the proposal, but they are willing to do that, so we can get things moving and get this tanker bought in service. It's a big thing.
Would there be a cost to canceling the other agreement?
So initially there was, and now there is not.
Pete sent him a
Because,
letter.
I
That's
talked
what I
to,
say. I'm not gonna.
did talk to Pete, and he said it's a simple letter. They essentially violated their own contract by continual price increases and not delivering them when they agreed to. They agreed to no price increases since they haven't even ordered or taken delivery of anything for it. So that was another good thing for us to be able to move forward.
And you don't need anything from us on this, just keeping us informed, is that
I would
right?
just say, probably just do
Yeah, I think we should do a motion to void the contract with local fire equipment and then agree to to pursuing, we don't really have anything in writing yet without, yeah.
No, like I said, I have a tentative quote, but with the equipment that we're.
But either way, we're not gonna buy a tanker from Vogel.
No,
I move that we cancel
I have
our
a
agreement with Vogel. Oh, sorry.
Ask a question.
Good,
for you?
good, yes.
What's the difference between the vacuum tanker and the tanker that you're gonna get? Is it how much quickly it sucks up the water? Or
So the
how does that
vacuum
work?
tanker, so any tanker is just like a fire truck. It has a water tank, depends on what size you get, and it has a fire pump. The vacuum tanker has an additional pump. So if you had your septic pumped out, right? That's a vacuum truck. So it's like it creates like a vacuum, just like a straw.
Could we just call Warner, have a contract with Warner, and he could come out and drop in a pond and then pump it out the other side?
You got a fire at your house, but you want that water in your house.
Anything that would put the fire out, probably.
But that's, that does cost, but it does allow us. But there's other devices out there that we're going to purchase with this tanker that's going to help us overcome that and get us to that water. We were looking at, and there's techniques that you can do with this tanker as well. We just wanted the advantage. And really, in Marysville Addicts, we were trying to keep everything similar.
Right.
But if we can't even get our hands on it, then we're going to go a different route. But having us in Pleasant Valley,
I just want to make sure it's not going to slow down response time.
No.
We're adding additional things to make up for that. They're not going to cost us
No, it's
more. Okay.
no. It's like I said, everything included with even the equipment, and that's what we're waiting on the pricing. Is all the equipment for that truck. It's still going to be under $500,000.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a savings to us, and really it's going to help us because we can put this tanker in service next month. Hopefully next month.
Okay, sorry for the interruption. You're making a motion there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, are you okay? Like, we
Yes.
can't, okay. I'd like to move that we cancel the agreement with Vogel Fire Equipment.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Andrew?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
And I'll get same with resolution with.
I'd like to make a
I know
motion that
have
we
a
move-
contract, but
Move forward with the,
once they get their approval.
Well, do you want us to wait until he's got the,
Yeah.
I mean,
Does he need
verbally, we're
formal-
telling you to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Formal,
And then we'll formally bless it once we have something.
so we don't need a motion.
he doesn't need formal permission.
to pursue that.
Okay.
Okay,
You have our verbal.
so,
Big thumbs up.
so we've got
Green
enough,
light.
what's that?
Green light.
Three thumbs
thumbs
up.
up.
Okay, okay, that's right. So we've got a 5-year fire levy, and the earliest that we could put it back on the ballot is this November. And I just wanted to ask if you guys had had opportunity to meet with Chief Stewart and Brandon, Robert about this.
I met with Chief Stewart, not with Robert. Chief Stewart made a suggestion that maybe we need a special meeting with all of us, together with the battalion chiefs, to sort through what our best options are, and then come out of that meeting with a recommendation.
Okay.
Because it's difficult when we're one-on-one and
Yeah.
knowing what
Yeah.
the other person's thinking too. We could go into an executive session of a special meeting, then come out of the special meeting with a recommendation that we all have. Right? That's,
We'll see if that's something we could possibly do. We'll need to double check and just make sure that we can do an executive session, like that. Has anyone gotten any feedback from citizens? I know we've talked to the battalion chief and chief. We had 2 special meetings already. We've met individually with the chief. I'm going to schedule a meeting with Robert so I can ask him a couple more questions I have.
but I've not gotten any
Maybe
feedback since.
between now and next meeting, if we could just ask people, how if they're pleased with the services that they've gotten from the township through the fire department. And
I've not heard
everyone's
any
probably going to tell you they're
complaints.
paying too much taxes, I would guess,
No,
if you ask them.
I guess the real issue is, what are we going to be asking for? And that's what people
Mhm.
are wondering, and not wanting to make an
Yeah.
opinion until they hear what we're asking them to pay for.
I'll tell you, Chief Stewart presented about the need for one more additional firefighter, 24 hours a day. So at each station, if they add a firefighter, that's like 3 positions. So he was talking about the necessity for 3 more positions in the next several years. And that really did make sense to me, that would be a smart thing to do. But I just didn't know if there's anything anyone wanted to, we've got the chief right here, and Brandon and Robert, anything we wanted to talk about.
Well, I'm still hoping to meet, I guess, with Robert to get more feedback on what his recommendations are, because I've heard a couple recommendations from the chief, and some of these, obviously, we need more money than we may be able to ask the citizen and residents to pay for,
Exactly.
keep things in, so we have to get a balance where, at what level we can
Yeah.
continue to manage and provide for safe responses too, so that's a
I really
financial question.
like the idea of a continual levy or replacing one of our continual levies, but I'm not sure that's going to fly. Then to be left with every 5 years to say, please, can we run our fire department? That kind of stinks, too. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about these things. The chief and I have been through a failed levy once, and I'd like to do the best we can to avoid that. And of course, if we're asking for any type of an increase, we're going to have to all really be ready to sell that. Why is this necessary? What difference is it going to make? I talked with the chief about some examples of how we've been in situations where the staffing kind of hurt us on response time, even with mutual aid, because a lot of people are like, well, someone else can show up. And I'm like, well, if you had a heart attack, you've got, 3 to 10 minutes, are essential. And, so it's all about timing. And then, we heard the sheriff mention about how crazy the increased traffic's getting with the growth. I mean, everybody wants to come out here and live and raise their families and shop. I mean, those are all, good things, but they do, we've been tasked with keeping everybody safe. So.
I think we really need to focus on what is the long-term goal and how we sustain that. I do have my opinions, but I think that we need to reconvene and hammer through it together so that we're all on the same page.
That's why I'd like the suggestion of maybe having a special meeting and allowing us to sit in executive session to get the chief and Robert to speak freely of what they're recommending, and then
Do we feel that we
come
need
to a
to,
consensus.
do we feel that we need to invite Andrea to come back to discuss this any further?
I think if we had an agreement with what direction we were going, we could, because I know that the summer's going to be busy for everybody. We are still in April, so hopefully
She asked for before June, correct? That's my
Do
recollection.
you recall, Robert?
It'll be going in July, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, Robert, do you feel comfortable you've gotten enough numbers to be in a reasonable position from?
Yeah, I think Wesleyan was right. Andrea kind of indicated to us, figure out what you need and then involve me more and to, what I can provide to you.
You've had a long history with the township, Robert. So
Yeah.
how many wins have you had on levies and how many losses, like if we're going up the...
Oh, we've had quite a few losses over the years.
I know it'd be a dream come true when the residents first voted to have a fire department. They put like 12 mills on the books. That seems pretty big. I think just roughly what I remember from the numbers on commercial side, we're collecting 9+ mills, and then on the residential side, 6+ mills. But when you hybrid those together, or overall, we're way below 12 mills. Pleasant Valley, every 5 years they put their levy out, and it's a 10 mil levy. However, out here in the township, we're very fortunate to have such a vast commercial tax base. I mean, that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I would like to mention too, as far as the JED proceeds, as more and more of those things come on board, and we've recently used some of that money on infrastructure on the 42 Industrial Parkway intersection, but we could, I think, use some of that money for capital improvement, capital expenditures at the fire department, and I think that'd be a good use of the money. Does anyone else have anything that they'd like to add at this time? No? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Were you done? I'm sorry. I may have cut you off at the middle. I wasn't sure, Chief.
Do we want to set any dates for follow-up and recommend? Do we need to have some kind of recommendation together by middle of May or end of this month?
So probably
What do we need?
at next meeting, I would like us kind of have a rough, where we're going without a vote, and then the first meeting in May, put the official vote out for what we plan to do.
So are you saying an
With the
executive
resolution.
session on April?
The 15th. The
The problem with
15th.
that is April 15th is a public hearing for the comp plan also.
Should we have a separate meeting
That's what
that's
I
a
was thinking,
special
separate
meeting?
That's what I was thinking.
The comp plan meeting, does that start at 7? Is that what we put that on at? It's at 7?
I think we did, but we can change that.
Do we know if
tonight
we'd be available for 6 o'clock? And then we'd have a 1 hour?
I just feel like I kind of, I think we should consider having a separate meeting.
Okay.
Because I don't want to rush the conversation, right?
Let's look at our calendars, please. course, we need to see it.
Chief?
So the Monday and Wednesday.
Are we able to do during
around-
the day?
I could do
If we do-
before 10 during the day. If we want to
Okay.
have a 9 o'clock or if we want to have a 8:30.
Is Robert available?
Could we do like
With
a 9
enough advance notice, I could be available.
could we do like a 9 o'clock?
I need to leave at 10, but
Oh, you do?
yeah. I've got a job, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
But I just have to be to Plain City by 10.
So I feel like that's rushing you too. Okay,
Mhm.
never mind, scratch that.
We could do 8:45 if that.
What about on the
Someone want to
22nd?
throw a date out there? I'm
What
flexible.
about on the 22nd in the evening? We don't have a board meeting that Tuesday.
What's the earliest you could do, Wesleyan, on
Oh, I can do 5. Yeah, I could do 5.
we do
Robert?
5? Oh, yeah, Robert.
Yeah, I could-
Good, okay. Would 5:15 work?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So,
That work for you, Brandon? Chief?
Yeah, and I'll verify with the,
yeah, I'm sorry. Brandon, are you good on that day?
I should be, yeah, and then I'll have to verify with the office. I don't know of any rentals.
Okay. Chief, I
Nobody's
was
on-
looking at what
nobody's
she
on-
had in my
oh,
thing. but-
gotcha.
So
Sorry, thanks.
I've scheduled a meeting on top of a room pool before, so I've been there. So Chief, with that date, I know you got to talk to the battalion chiefs, but we definitely got to have you there. Would that work for you? Okay, good. So I'd like to move that the Board of Trustees have a special meeting on April 22nd, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. here at the Township Hall to have discussion of the fire levy.
Second.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Would that be an executive session?
We have to
We're-
start a
we're
special
gonna
meeting
find
as a
out.
public meeting and then.
Yeah. We're gonna find out, but we're hoping after whatever happens that we will maybe not take formal action, but we'll say what we're gonna do.
Probably
what
come
we'd
up
like
with
to
a
do.
recommendation, and we might want to get feedback from the public as to what we're recommending before we actually file anything.
So the first meeting in May. Okay. Okay. Game plan. Okay. All right. Anything further?
Nope.
Okay. Brandon, back to you.
Yeah, just, you have the road report in front of you, and we're continuing. We did, as you know, you approved the quote to get the plumbing issue fixed in the outdoor restroom. It's going to involve some concrete work, so as far as I know, that's not been done, and the partitions won't be installed until that work is done, and that ends my report.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you,
got it.
Brandon.
Thank you, Chief. I forgot to say that. All right, moving along here. We've got an enterprise zone agreement that we need to formalize. Eric Phillips from the Union County Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development, mouthful, was here at our last meeting. And my understanding is this was put together by the prosecutor's office and been reviewed, and we need to formalize it. So I'd say I'd like to pass a resolution consenting to an enterprise agreement between,
Yeah, that's not right.
It's actually Union.
well, it's going to be next meeting. You
It's
know,
unique.
like
It's
how
unique.
hard is it to put together a resolution for the trustees to?
Yeah.
Wait, well, it's
Like,
between the Union
How many
County.
times does it take to do this?
There were two things that were sent. I don't know what you're reading from there, but one of them was in support of the Union County. I think they were correct. They were
You
put
go
together
down.
by the prosecutor's office. Do you
You
have?
have a resolution in front of you that we can approve? The one I have is between the county and them, not between Jerome Township. I don't see Jerome Township on there.
The agreement.
The agreement is between the county, it's in support of the Union County agreement, is what we're making a resolution on. And then there was also,
It didn't say anything about the township then.
the
Yes.
second one,
It
yes.
did.
Hey, Joe, I think you jumped to conclusions on it.
Oh,
Robert, do you have a copy of that?
Yes.
Could you explain it to Joe, what you're voting on?
Yes, so like the very first paragraph says, whereas Union County, Ohio and Jerome Township, Union County, have encouraged individuals and businesses to develop real property, yada, yada, yada. And then, page 2, Jerome Township Board of Trustees consents to the enterprise zone agreement attached as Exhibit A. President of Jerome Township Trustees is authorized to sign. And above that is
I'm the chairman, not the president. I don't know.
president of the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
guess that'd be
technically.
synonymous.
Yes. Above that, it says, whereas Jerome Township Board of Trustees finds and determines that the proposed enterprise zone agreement for the CS24 LC is in the long-term interest of Jerome Township and its residents. So on a cursory review, except for that president, it looks sufficient.
I guess
Can I say so moved?
Sure.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Okay, let's fill in this before we do anything else.
You guys are signing.
Yes, April 1st. So let's see, there's 2 places for you to sign. One there. And you sign, if you want to cross out president, put chairman, that's perfectly fine. And that's me. Okay. Pages for you.
Only
Yep, that's it for you. Signature right there. Yep. That's the only, yeah, that's just.
So there's 2 items on the old business that I don't have in my packet. Pioneer Crossing Reserve F and easement for New California Hills Homeowners Association for a sign.
Still pending.
Still pending, okay. Now I've got a resolution here for no parking signs. Can you go ahead, Brandon?
Yep, these are signs that we've been trying to get for about a year or so, installed down in States. Parkway, down on Roush, Estates Court, on ongoing numerous complaints of semis parking on the roadway. And this is an agreement with the Union County engineer to provide those signs and install them. And historically, the township's always paid for those, so that's what you have in front of you.
Any discussion?
Yeah. Okay, it does include installation, they're gonna do the installation.
Yes.
Long time coming, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad to see this.
Glad to see it.
How many signs are we?
I don't think.
All right, I'd like to move to accept the estimates provided by Union County Engineers Office and authorize the Union County Engineers Office to undertake and perform the above work for an amount not to exceed, can we use the exact amount, Robert, or say $3,000?
You
You know, I am reading through this, and it looks like we're paying for one sign but 2 posts. That doesn't make sense.
20 signs. It's on page 2 there, I believe. Yeah, there's 20 signs.
It says signs for this project,
Signs.
$325 one.
I think I've got the numbers.
It says 2 pounds.
22-pound posts.
Sign posts, and 23 pound sign posts. Doesn't
Maybe
make
the
sense.
wind's windier on the left side than the right. They use one on one side or one on the
Put
other
a bunch
side.
of posts.
But it's only
so they
one
can't
sign.
park
It's
there.
only one sign of 20
They're
posts.
just gonna put posts. in the
I
ground
think
so the
it's
trucks
I
can't
think
go
it's a
on.
typo. I think that, but 20 signs at $325. That would be.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Significant.
Materials.
What's your thoughts, Robert?
What's the
Let's
total?
confirm.
2,700.
Do we
Or
need a
10 signs.
resolution for this, or can we just give Brandon permission to take care of it?
Yeah, and we
Okay.
actually already have a PO
So-
open for miscellaneous.
Right.
Okay.
Let's have Brandon proceed
So-
to clarify how many signs. are
Yeah,
put and
you
how
don't
many
need to
posts.
bring this back.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll do
Yeah.
it. We'll
Make
do
sure
it.
that it's adequate.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Robert.
Yes. So, the first item is the columbarium project. Brandon brought that before you, and the board kind of indicated that they were in favor of it. I don't know, have they seen this quote?
I think so, via email, maybe not, but I believe so.
How many, my question was, how many people can be buried?
Yeah, it's 100.
Okay.
100, what'd you say?
Because it was 140, because it was like
That sounds
$30,000 to
right.
$40,000 was the estimate, and then we thought there only could be 40 people
Yeah.
interred there, and I was like, well, I don't know, what are we gonna charge,
Yeah.
you know, to make it work financially? What would be, when you looked at the other township that had this, what did they, do you recall what they charged for?
That'll come to you next.
It made sense? Okay,
Please.
okay. You got some pictures there too?
Yes.
Pass that down. Yeah.
Do we know, does that include everything? Do we need to do a concrete pad?
No,
in addition
they
to
do all-
that?
They do the site work.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we need any zoning permits from Eric?
No, no, we do not. Shh. Yeah, no, we do not.
He's dunk tank. There's a kind of a little schematic drawing I'm trying to show you. There's 2 benches included in that estimate at $44,000.
Do I need to
Which
sign
which
something, or-
cemetery?
That's Jerome Cemetery.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you see that?
It'll go back in the corner near the barn, the garage back there.
Yeah.
So we have to approve this and also re-budget for it because it wasn't in the original budget, is that?
Correct, yes.
So you need 2 motions? One
That
to
can be a
amend
single
the-
motion to amend the budget and approve the
Okay.
purchase, construction columbarium from whatever company at the amount of the estimate there.
I move that we move forward on the purchasing of the columbariums from Salem Stones and amend our budget for the amount of up to, it says 44,600, up to $45,000.
You need to sign the deeds.
Second? Are you're okay with you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Second? Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes. Okay, you wanted to discuss about the contract agreement next. I'll let you have that, Robert.
Yes, so in one of the previous meetings, Brandon had brought before you the low and best bid from Classical Construction LLC. And the board approved a motion to authorize the township administrator to pursue with legal counsel the additional steps that need to be taken, which included the drafting of a contract. However, I think we need a resolution formally accepting the contract that was finalized for the amount, and I have the amount here. The amount is $1,349,971. So just kind of crossing the Ts and dotting the Is that the board approved the contract as it was finalized.
I so moved. Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Thank
you, Robert.
Robert, question, do we need to do any follow-up in terms of the payment with the bank and how the bond is going to work on that, or is that already done?
That's all done. We already went through all the bond work. Proceeds are deposited. There's an amortization schedule for debt service payments, so all that's finished.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. I've got under new business.
Yes. So, as you're aware, we received approximately $525,000 of fiscal recovery money that we put in a fund and that we designated for the purchase of the aerial ladder in addition to the remaining funds from Jerome Village. Recently, we've been getting communications that the federal government is going to be looking hard at entities that have not expended the money, nor did they properly encumber the money as they should have, looking for that money to be returned to the federal government. I believe that we have properly encumbered it. We have a contract with Sutphen for the aerial ladder, but I was seeking the board's opinion of whether we wanted to go ahead and put a deposit down on that aerial ladder. So the reporting period is April 1st, April 30th, that rather than reporting that we still have it encumbered, I can report that it has been expended.
Is that what you recommend?
That is my recommendation.
I support
You
it.
know, I don't like doing prepayments or deposits, but
In this case,
Yes.
sure, it makes sense.
yes.
Did you say the amount?
So the fund has now grown to approximately $578,000 with the interest that we've earned on it. So it will be, after I post March's interest, I will have a number. I will give that to Andy Herb, who's waiting on it, and he'll supply us with the documents to support that amount and show that we've made the prepayment and issue a check.
Do we need to pass a resolution tonight, or do you need that number first?
No, we can just do a motion to expend the coronavirus fiscal recovery money for the purchase of the aerial ladder.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
So we will be cutting some checks hopefully later this week, so you'll receive some notification, the $250,000 check to the Union County Engineer, a check to Sutphen. We've got a first payment to Classical Construction to get them started, and the water and sewer permits for the city of Marysville. We'll
Okay.
have 4 big checks for you
$1
this time.
million.
Wow.
All right, got some announcements here. Our public meeting for the Jerome Township Comprehensive Plan will be Tuesday, April 15th, 7 p.m. here at the Township Hall, located at 9777 Industrial Parkway, Plain City, Ohio. Memorial Day program will be at Jerome Cemetery, located at 10,760 Jerome Road, Plain City, Ohio, on Monday, May 26th at 10 a.m. The second annual Jerome Township Car Show will be held on Saturday, June 7th, 2025, on Estates Court, just off Estates Parkway. It's a free event, start at 10 a.m. and include food trucks, music, lots of fun while visitors explore the different vehicles at the show. And I think the sheriff mentioned that they were going to have a helicopter there, and that a drone fire was going to be there also. If you'd like to receive notifications about the Board of Trustees meetings, please email the township office at jerometownship@jerometownship.com. The township is always accepting applications for positions on our zoning boards. Please visit the Jerome Township website to fill out an application. Time's 8:33. I'd like to move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second?
Meeting adjourned.